What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Old School Review, the series where I review skateboarding videos from the past that inspired me. Today, we are reviewing Almost Round 3. This video came out in 2004. As always, we're watching it on high quality skate videos. I recommend you subscribe to them, and we're watching this in 16:9, which is not how it's designed to be watched, but as far as my format, it fits good. We're going to casually skip through, starting off with Chris Haslam, best kickflip ever in any skate video, maybe some varial flips. This video brings back the memories because when it came out, round 2 was like many years before this, so I was expecting something completely different. They really modernized, or I guess just caught up with the times as far as the brand. Then again, you know, everyone wants to see, well, okay, how do I say this? As a kid, Rodney versus Daewon, you go, oh wow, cool video. Then number 2 comes out and you go, holy shit. And there's these people that are like turning it into a boxing match, like we saw the graphic earlier, and we're like, oh no, we need to see another one. And everyone's thinking, well, these guys, like, what if they're too old? Well, guess what? They're not too old, right? These guys are invincible, unstoppable. Watch this 5-0 varial flip. Amazing. Tic-tac to begin with. This part, Chris Haslam, lot of toe drags, but also this is a style of skating you don't see very much, especially in the fit. Everyone likes to talk about the fit these days. How you dress is what, 99 or 98% of skateboarding. He's got the big shoes, he's got the weird bell bottoms, he's got the car hat jacket. I mean, he's got the hippie haircut with the hairband. Nothing makes any sense. Toes hanging off the skateboard, big poofy shoes, but the tricks I don't think have ever been matched, which I think is why this is a perfect, like, intro to any video. I always say start your videos off with a bang. I've always considered the first and last part, best kickflip 5-0 ever, the first and last part of every video, I've always said those are the best parts. Everything in the middle is all just sort of, I don't want to say filler, but you're waiting, right? You're excited. If you have a shitty part in any video, it happens in the middle, because by the time the last part happens, you forget about it, right? Case in point, Cooper Wilt in this video. another heels hanging off, switch laser flip, a lot of unorthodox tricks, late flips, front foot flips. Earlier we got a crook front foot flip, 1 foot front board shove, which one day we should try that on the Flat Bar Fridays. Who else have you ever seen do what, a front board tray flip, I guess? Really nice looking flip back Smith, which I think no one expected this. Sometimes tricks in skate videos leak. No one expected that. We get Ryan Sheckler here, who is, maybe 1 year old, maybe 2 in these clips. And you can tell the style's terrible. This little kids look terrible on a skateboard. This guy turned out to be a great skateboarder, but watching kids skateboard it's just boring, man. He's no Jinwoo, okay? Let's just put it like that. Let's skip to the banger. We get a switch heel, nicely done. Feeble grind. If the banger is a board slide, I'm gonna be really annoyed. A lot of little kids do that. They'll board slide Hollywood 12 wearing full knee pads, and that'll be the banger for their video part. And they expect adults, like mostly their dad expects all the adults to respect them and be like, see, he did a real street trick. And you're like, he did everyone else's warm up, but he did it in full like military gear. So look, 2 hands on the ground, frontside flip off the whatever that was pretty huge. And if the ollie's the last trick, I don't know. I belong to the group of skaters that says, okay, you did an ollie, you're a little kid, that's all little kids do. This guy, I always thought this was Tyrone Olsen in a wig. I swear to God, that's not a joke. I thought that for the longest. I guess this is a real guy? I need you guys to help me with this. I watched this video dozens of times, probably in 2004, 2005. Did this guy go on to continue skating, or is this a joke? Like, the guy's drinking a 40, like, all the tricks are from far away, so I can't get a good look at him. It doesn't look like he'd be good. The money sign, like, I swear to God, I thought this was Tyrone Olsen for the longest time. Like, when I skimmed through this earlier, I thought his wig fell off in that clip, the nose grind. But maybe it's not a wig, and I'm just, I don't know. See, moments like this make me realize that maybe I never knew anything about skateboarding. I tell you guys nowadays, like, oh, I'm kind of disconnected. Maybe I've always been disconnected. Greg Lutzka right here. Don't know what happened to this guy, but man, he was extremely talented. I used to watch a website called WizSkate.com. This was before YouTube. This was before websites even had like videos, and it was one of the first skateboarding websites that had videos. And Greg Lutzka was one of the stars. I wonder, it'd be interesting to see if he's ever what the fuck was that? If he's ever talked about that in like an interview. But yeah, he went on to become a really great skateboarder. I remember watching clips of him at Four Seasons Skate Park in Milwaukee, I think. And I've never been there. And I met a guy named Andre years later. I was like, oh, it's Four Seasons in Milwaukee? He's like, yeah, how do you know that? I'm like, Greg Lutzka was on this website that I weirdly remember from fucking 20 years ago. And I just happen to remember that one of the clips was called Greg Lutzka fucking skate park clip, kickflip back tail. It's interesting to see that he became, I would say at the time, a top 10 guy. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe injuries, something like that. I mean, it's funny. I've heard this guy's name a million times over the years. Never ran into him, but I don't know. It's hard not to be a fan of somebody like this guy. Gives me like the Nyjah vibes as far as like being a robot and doing really hard tricks. But what happened to him, no one knows. I say Nyjah because there's nothing like stand outish, right? These are all really cool tricks, really crazy tricks. Watch this guy run away in the background. I always thought that was funny. This guy to the left is like running. You can see his shadow. But yeah, you don't get, I don't know, I guess you don't get a lot of mind-blowing shit, but you get a bunch of shit where you go, wow, that trick would be in a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, which is sort of how I watch Nyjah parts now. Like, wow, this is what I would do in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I would switch 5-0, a double set, triple kink, you know? Switch backside flip down the stairs. I mean, as far as Greg, we got great nollie, great switch, a lot of rails, ledges, really the total package. I remember seeing him in Street League, and I don't remember him doing that well. But if you would have asked me if this guy would be a great choice for Street League, I would have always said yes, especially compared to, like, I don't know, Mike Moe is in Street League, and I don't remember him ever doing very well. Like, Evan Smith was in Street League as early as, I think, last year. And that was always boring as hell. And here we got the legend. Randy Mulkins. Back at it again. Sasquatch. Fun video. I always thought, well, these filming is always weird. I always thought there was a weird inconsistency in camera quality in this video. I don't know if you guys can notice, like right here, we have little blurry edges, but also like really saturated reds. And then in some other, like here, like the sky is sort of over exposed. But then in other clips, it's like a whole different camera was used. And I'm sure that's probably the case. But in most skate videos, it's harder to notice versus this one. So maybe someone out there with better knowledge of cameras can enlighten me as to why this video looks so weird in some clips. Rodney Mullen, keeping it diversified with the lines, the flat ground, the manuals, the dragging of the skateboard across the ground. And another part, you think about it like, okay, this guy had video parts in like in the 90s, right? The early 90s, maybe even the 80s. I don't know. That was before my time. But I don't know. I think I did this with like UFC fighters and athletes, boxers, everything. I go, well, yeah, well, that guy's fucking old. His best days are behind him. And then a video like this comes out, and you're like, well, that's not true. And I say that about a lot of people nowadays. Even people that are, I don't know, even people that are younger than me. You know, I'd be like, ah, yeah, that guy was good in 2009, but he's not going to put out another good part now. Speaking of that, I just watched Video Days, I think it was, the old blind video, 1991. Guy Mariano had a part as a kid. And I remember watching whatever his blowout part was more recently. I think maybe it was Pretty Sweet or something. I remember thinking, who cares about this fucking guy? This guy's just, he's landing hard tricks, but who cares? And the reason I care now is because it's crazy to think that you can remain relevant for 35 years in a sport that I think is really hard on your body. So that was always my thought in watching these videos. Like, okay, this guy's 150 years old, still doing the craziest tricks ever. And we could sit there and complain about the tic tac right there. We could, but the only time I think that'd be appropriate is if anyone else was doing these tricks. Johnny Geiger does Some of them. Okay, let's fast forward. Daewon Song, he's doing big gaps, weird Build-A-Bear skate spots from different stories. He's got the flat ground. He's keeping the tricks, same tricks he used to do, but doing them on many different obstacles. We get the manuals, the classic switch nose manual, but the combos here were unprecedented. The double flips that we end up seeing later, the weird spots, and the classic Daewon style that no one probably ever will be able to emulate. I mean, just the way that his arms move, the loose trucks, obviously you don't want to forget about the loose trucks, but just the amount of control. And I don't think it's because of loose trucks. I think you could put this guy, you could put a toaster on skateboard wheels and he would still have absolute control. And I think that just goes with being one of the legends of the sport. You know, just like in UFC, there's not a lot of people that have a 35-year career, but the people that do get recognized for it. And I think that's wildly inspiring from both of these guys. And remember, this is a 2004 video, so more content came out even after this. You guys got to remember, this is old school review. Like, we're reviewing videos from, what year is it now? 2022? This is 18 years ago? Am I doing the math right? 18 years ago, and then still in the past 10 years, these guys are still putting out content. Daewon probably put out something on Instagram yesterday. I keep switching. I keep switching from calling him Daewon and Daewon. I don't know. Maybe let's not get in trouble here. The tricks absolutely hold up today. There's not a lot of people that do these manual combos, and when you see it, it's always impressive. So the double flips, I always feel like this could be hard on the skateboard. You typically think like, oh, the big stair skaters and the big rail skaters. Those are the guys that are hard on their skateboard. But if you're double flipping and landing completely all your weight on the nose and tail, I feel like that means these skateboards can hold up, or maybe they just cruise to the spot with extra skateboards. Because for me, when the tail gets soggy or the nose gets soggy, and this might just be me making an excuse, the manuals go downhill. By the way, at some point next year, I will be attempting nollie varial flip manual. 22 years into my skateboarding career, so that'll be fun. Jumping across the gap, we got the big flat ground gap. See, could have got Skater of the Year that year, since all Tyshawn had to do was flat ground backside flip. A little subtle jab right there for the comments. Also, this video we're filming right now comes out on Saturday, and I haven't filmed it yet, but there's going to be a T-Funk impression video that's coming out that people are going to cry about. I can't wait for you guys to see that. Play. How long have we been going? 13 minutes. That seems really scary. I'm pretty scared of fights. I think we've seen enough, right? You guys can always watch this video in your own time, and for some reason I feel like we might have actually reviewed this video before, and I only say that because I'm stopping on this thumbnail. These old school reviews, think about it, I've watched these videos dozens, sometimes hundreds of times, but I don't always remember the exact context. So when I watch it again later in life, I don't differentiate if I've already done an old school review. So hopefully I haven't, and if I did, hopefully I remained consistent in my opinions. Overall, great video, highly recommended. Go check it out. A link will be in the description below. And this week I got zero entries for Ninja Review. So if you have a video that you made maybe in the past year or 2 years, or you know of a friend that makes skate videos, please submit your video to me to review, as long as you own the video. And I would love to help you guys maybe understand mistakes you don't know you're making. Go watch Ninja Review if you're not familiar with the format. Also, go watch Ninja Review so you guys can understand the process to submit a video to me. Anyways, I'm filming this on a Monday. This comes out in 6 days. I hope by then you're having a great weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Oh my gosh, what is that thing? Bing, 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 bing. Follow the instructions, and Kuna Matata, bitches. In the arms